Welcome to the FaceTime with God podcast. I'm your host, Kay Farrar, and yes, you have tuned in to the right place because we're bringing Christ to the culture and the culture to Christ because the gospel's not for old times, it's for all times. So we've got relevant topics, real people, and we're starting right now.
So funny the difference, right, that being a Christian makes. Because what you were saying, like, you seem like the most congenial, easygoing guy. Like, I could never see you snapping on it. I mean, I couldn't.
They call me crazy cute because I'm a very mild-mannered person. But like it's something about like I bring intensity on the field. Like
I'm not mad at it.
So
you are a career coach. Do you coach also still with sports or?
No.
Okay.
So my first career was actually as a sports performance coach. So I worked at James Madison.
Okay.
I worked at Shenandoah University, Mississippi State University. So I coached student athletes. Fun fact, Dak Prescott was a incoming freshman when I interned at Mississippi State. So I got a chance to like coach him when he was
really?
Yeah, and Fletcher
look,
Cox.
You might need a little coaching now.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to my man. Don't do that to Dak. That's messed up.
I know. I like it. I know. Pastor Forbes, I hope he doesn't see this because he'll get me about Dallas Cowboys. But yeah.
Yep.
He was chaplain for them for a little while.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's super cool. But yeah, I started off as a sports performance coach, and I changed careers, strangely enough, because while I was a strength coach at Shenandoah University, I guess I was doing that for about 4 or 5 years. I would be having these conversations with my guys, like in between workouts, just about life, and they would be asking, like, it would be they'll be talking about girlfriends, we talk about academics, and I was like, okay, I like this. So even though I was in the weight room teaching them lifts, and I love doing the exercise prescription and programming. But I was actually energized more by the in-between times, in between workouts, because I was having those convos. And then, so that happened. And then my wife was going to school for college student personnel.
Okay.
So she would come home talking about like all these theories, right? Like, I'm not going to nerd you down, but like she would be talking about positive psychology, Donald Super, these theories. And I got to listen because she's my wife. But I'm like, okay, cool. That's dope, baby. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But it resonated with me later on, though, because I actually love that stuff now. So I made a pivot because our firstborn, Isaiah, he's 10 now.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I don't think I can work 60, 70 hours in the weight room, knowing that I got a young family. And then on top of that, like, I don't know if I want to just coach anymore. I want to do something along the lines of like development. Okay. So all of that kind of made a recipe for like, all right, what do you want to do different? So I actually went to JMU. I got a job as an academic advisor working with the student athletes at the time.
Cool. So it is so much in this whole career thing. One, I will say, is a big passion of mine. And I guess I'm a passionate person. It's like, you're passionate about sports, you're passionate about the kids in the school. But I guess so I'm just passionate about a lot of things. But the whole career thing, because I feel like in our community, that's something we need to get a grip on. That's something we need to sort of figure out how to help people.
Yeah.
Be able to transition, like you said. And honestly, I feel like some of our kids, I don't even know what their first career looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, job and career,
Yeah.
Because I mean, getting out of school and doing, your first job type of thing, which oftentimes that can be, retail or fast food,
Yeah.
But we're talking about really bringing something to the marketplace that is marketable, that people want to pay you to do, and that you can earn a really good living. And it's like a dilemma because I'm wondering, what are you bringing to the table? Yeah. Do you work with those hard cases, or are you more, guiding and steering people who really coming to the table and they're ready to play, so to speak?
So I'm gonna say something very strange. Like it's funny. I actually don't do direct coaching a lot anymore because I feel like because this is such a need for all of us. Like I feel like where I'm positioned, where I'm kind of being led to is being more of a thought leader when it comes to career development. Because so what I do in my business is actually large scale programming. I was privileged to work in higher ed where I got a lot of the theory, a lot of the sort of the, I guess, ideal about how to serve folks, but I like to put it into practice. So when you go in from education, it's a lot of like theory, but when you in the real world, like, you know, folks actually stuck and you're talking about serving people, it's not a lot of actual pragmatic people to help you in those processes. So I'm trying to help bridge that gap to provide those same concepts to in a practical way where people, you know, they're underemployed, like they're trying to break poverty cycle. So that's kind of my territory.
So let's role play a little bit. All right. So let's just say, and I know some of this you're kind of a couple steps removed from, but let's just say you're working with a particular person that comes to you and they're like, they have, you know, they graduated high school.
Okay.
But they've done, you know, fast food retail type jobs.
Okay.
And they're looking to get married, start a family, all this good stuff. What would be the first thing that you would do with a person like that?
That's so good. First thing I would think about is I want to have a conversation about the values, interests, and skills. Okay. Right. So it's funny that you named all those things. I get excited when you talk about that because we don't actually when we think about like career advancement, we immediately think about, all right, I got to get a degree or what's the salary. But you told me, all right, they have a degree, they want to get married. All right, where do I start? So I need to have a conversation about like giving them language about values, interests, skills. Okay. So what I mean by that is values, for example. You just said they want to get married. So I'm gonna ask them some follow-up questions about, all right, where do you want to live? Like what's your partner do? What kind of lifestyle you want to live, right? Like people don't actually answer those questions with themselves. Like we think about like, okay, I got to make 100K or I want to go on trips, but you don't actually talk about that outside. So that's values territory. And then interest is another area. It's like, so you say you're passionate about a bunch of different things. That's, to me, that's interest territory where you're obviously you're a thought leader right now as a podcaster. You're talking about integrating faith into just different spectrums of life. And, you know, I've done my research, so I know you serve in ministry, you serve in the corporate areas. So you got a lot of interest. Most of us, it's easier for us to talk interest very quickly. But then the other thing is skills. So this is probably the biggest area for us. It's like I'm going to give an analogy. I'll ask you a question. Do you think that on the technical side of this podcast, you would be able to like edit the videos, go into the software and do all the technical stuff?
Interestingly enough, before text came on board, I did.
Okay.
So I can, but I'm not. Yeah.
Okay.
We glad we got text.
So a person that usually people don't have a diverse skill set. So you actually have like experience and proficiency being able to leverage the software to edit and all that jazz. So the point I was really trying to make is like we might be interested in being a teacher or interested in being a financial advisor or interested in being a principal, but we don't have the skills to actually lead a group to facilitate.
I'm so impressed with you. First of all, y'all see how he threw that out? He had, you know, his 3 points, the values, interest and skills, and broke it down. Like that was so awesome.
I call it the career trinity.
Awesome. So, all right. Great conversation. Like we're there with you, and I'm sure the person that you're talking to is there, right? But all right, now what? And so I guess what I want to ask you: do you use certain assessment tools, and what would be like one of your go-to tools?
So simultaneously, the same. I will be asking those questions about values, interests, skills. Those are actual assessments, and I use them because they're free, right? So I'm Clifton Strength certified. I'm versed in MBTI, but those are paid inventories. So there's a lot of different inventories that are great, but I like to use stuff that's accessible and common to, you know, whether you are, you know, it's kind of too soon. I was gonna say president, But whether you are a lawmaker or if you are like in poverty, like you don't have a job, like you don't work in any job, values, interests, skills is going to be very applicable no matter what industry you go to. So I would start with those 3 assessments, and that'll give a lot of context for where to go next in the conversation.
So when you say those 3, the values, interests, skills, that is an actual...
Those are assessments.
See, I'm not... So of the ones that you've mentioned, of course, Myers-Briggs, because that's been out a while. Yep. I'm familiar with that.
Yep.
You said Clifton?
Clifton Strength. So that's a positive psychology tool. It's a strength-based tool. Yep.
Awesome. How long does that one take?
It'll take you like 40 minutes to take it.
Really?
Yep.
About 40 minutes. Is that like a team type thing, or is that, I mean, can you do it as a team? Because, you know, like Myers-Briggs, a lot of teams do it, and so how we interact with each other and that kind of thing.
It's individuals take it, and then what happens is like you have a coach like myself to like coach individual, but also coach teams. So it's meant to like, when I went through the certification, Mr. Shields was the facilitator. He said that individuals are sharp, but teams are balanced, right? Wow. So sometimes if I were to know your top 5 assessments, I'm gonna just give one. Like you seem pretty inquisitive, right? So maybe intellection is one of your top 5, but intellection is not mine. Okay. So if I need to like run this operation, I'm gonna lean on you for intellection, for ideas, for how to like do all of this. And my number 1 is empathy. So maybe when it comes to like, you know, how you relate with your team, I might provide value in that regard.
Your number 1 is empathy. That's awesome.
So the point I'm making is like, you know, with that assessment, it can be used for individuals, but it's also meant for teams as well.
So with you and your wife doing this business together, what is her lane and what is your lane?
Yeah, I smile because I'm trying to recruit my wife more into this. So my wife is a high restorative person. So when it comes to like, there's a problem in somebody's life, she's a phenomenal coach. Like she would be able to provide counseling. She would go like beyond with an individual. Right now, I think she's in a season where she's focused primarily on like her day job. And she works in communities in school. So she's helping to really serve a lot of kids that have barriers. So right now I'm kind of managing most of like the business while we both have careers. So I see her area and her territory as like, I'm helping with workforce development, but the people that we serve have so many barriers. So I think her territory and role is like, how can we help with like the food insecurities, you know, homeless, housing insecurities. So I think her territory is somewhere to solve those at-risk issues as we help them to get in their careers.
It was kind of interesting. Part of the reason that I said that is because you mentioned empathy. And there's another assessment, and I'm not remembering the name. There was one that we did, but our CIO, right? She was heavy on empathy, and most senior leaders are not. And I'm getting a lot of CEO vibes from you.
Yeah.
And so the empathy thing is cool because again, a lot of CEOs don't really lean in that empathy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So on Myers-Briggs, let me see. All right, let me see. Let me go back to my Myers-Briggs. I'm gonna try to, since I did good guessing your position, I'm gonna see if I can guess where you are on Myers-Briggs. So, all right. So empathy. So this might not necessarily be in order, but I'm gonna give you an F.
Okay.
For feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an I.
Okay.
For intuitive. I'm gonna give you, or is that because I might be
introversion, extroversion. So the I is for introversion. So you're right about that one. And then
introversion?
Yeah. You wouldn't have thought that?
I would not have. A strong introvert or?
Yes. After this I need to take a nap.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because people think that like people that are highly sociable and communicate well, it comes across as extroversion. But introvert and extrovert is just how you get energized, right? So
all right, what would you guess for me? Especially since you do these.
I might say actually introvert.
Really?
Yeah, but I think like I don't know, like because I haven't.
All right. What else?
So the next is sensing and intuitive. Man, you can kind of go both ways. I'm gonna say in, so IN, and then what's the next one? Is it feelings and judging? I'm gonna give you a J. All right. You giving me executive vibe. We got to get stuff done. What's the last one? INFJ. It's a.
It's a T in there, and it's a T and something else.
Thinking and maybe I got it backwards. Thinking and feeling. Is that it? The T.
Don't start me like. But so I'll just go ahead. So so I've taken it, I think, twice, 2 or 3 times. I was a E, but with the little I.
Okay.
And then another time I was a very strong E.
Mm-hmm.
I love people.
Okay.
I love to talk, and I get so much energy.
Okay.
Like first of all, I have to calm myself down when we're doing one of these. It's hard for me I get so hyped. It's a little almost hard for me to function. I get so hyped in anticipation of doing this. Like seriously, I make everything a group project. Like, yeah, I just want a group to do it just for the interaction. Yeah. But I do have some But
that's so cool.
Yeah, the whole thing. This is so cool, Quintrel, and I suppose we're getting close to time. Mia was
We're at the 40-minute mark.
Okay.
No, and that's good.
Okay.
So Quintrel, I say this to a lot of my guests, but so I need to work with you and your wife, like seriously, for some things that we want to do with this ministry. Yeah. And I can't because the people are all hype, and then when they leave, I got to try to catch them. So I'm gonna need you to sign a contract now.
I got you. Well, listen, look, I'm giving all to your whole team as gifts, but I wanted to give you that.
Oh, this is so awesome.
Yeah. So I think.
Oh my God! All right, but you gotta look. You gotta.
I got you. I'll sign it.
You didn't spit any rhymes. What the world? How we do that?
I don't know. We can.
You an MC? Would you guess that I'm an MC?
I don't even know. You got some swag.
Would you call me an MC, Tax? Like, no, you're not no MC.
You got some swag.
So back in the day, I know we just talking, we wrap it up, and it's good to still be in there. It's cool. But back in the day, you remember, everybody talks about Sugar Hair Day. So that was in my era.
Okay.
But before then, have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Nipsey Russell?
No, I heard of Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nipsey Russell, before, honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but like before rap, it was a thing of rhyming.
Okay.
Rhyming was the thing.
Yeah.
And I saw Nipsey Russell on TV, and he was rhyming. And this was, I hate to, but look, tell the truth, shame the devil. So this was early 70s, probably, early mid 70s or so. So anyway, I could go all day long and rhyme all day.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
When we used to travel, Tim's probably didn't hear it a lot, but some of the girls, I had a band. Okay. That's why we got all this stuff. But some of the young ladies, because we would room together and whatever, or, they would be up in front riding with me, the guys, be somewhere else or somewhere in another van or whatever. But I would rhyme like.
So you are you when you rhyme, you like no beat, acapella, or you got an instrumental?
It don't matter.
Oh snap!
Okay. It really doesn't matter because it's just like this. I will rhyme, and the thing about it makes sense. But it's still gonna rhyme.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to think about it. It's immediate. It don't take no kind of time, right? So sometimes when you rhyme in cadence like that, after a while, it can get a little old.
Yeah.
So I'll go around and then I'll bring it back again. And then, in the conversation, then it gets so I had to bring something in there to bring that conclusion. But I'm going to give it back to you and see what you can do.
Oh, wow. On the spot? Man. Oh, snap.
I don't know what you call that.
Man,
it's not being an MC, but it's just rhyming.
It's just freestyling rhyming. On the spot.
Well, all right, think about it. Think about it. We ain't gonna put you on the spot today.
I'm a decent writer. Freestyler is.
You a good writer?
I feel like it. I have music that I put out there.
Do you record?
I do. Yeah.
When last time you recorded?
I just released a project called Yard Sale. I think about a month ago.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Quintrel, I need an appointment with you and your wife. A couple things. One, I want to consult with you as far as some coaching stuff.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I want you on my board. We're going to be establishing a board.
Let's do it.
And we're going to kick it off in January, but I want to have a meeting, lunch, whatever. I take, whatever we need to do, and I can kind of brief you.
Okay.
But this has been so awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, with Mr. G, him and my wife obviously work together, and I crossed paths at a work event with him.
Okay.
And when he mentioned, you all's podcast, I was blown away. One by like just the content, because I think like, talking about the kingdom, but also just intersecting so many different areas of life, is provides tremendous value. And then seeing the growth in a short amount of time, that's nothing but just anointing over you all. So I appreciate you giving the opportunity, but also I'm excited for you, Ms. Farrar, and like your team just doing awesome work. Kudos to you guys.
That is so awesome to hear. That is so awesome to hear. This has been crazy. I could talk to you all.
I love it.
I really could.
Hey fam, here's some more good news. Romans 10:13 says, whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. That means delivered from danger, rescued, protected, preserved, so that you would do well and be made whole. If you've never prayed this prayer, if you want to just confess it again, join us as we pray. Lord Jesus, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. I believe you died for me and paid the penalty for all my sins. I know I've not done everything right, but that's why I'm calling on you to save me, to wash me in your blood, to forgive me for all of my shortcomings, to make me whole again from the inside out. I will walk with you. I will follow you. I thank you for showing me through your word and by your spirit how I need to walk, how I need to live before you. Lord, I thank you for removing any blockage in my mind, in my environment. Lord, I thank you for sending your angels to protect me and to lead me in the way that I should go. According to Romans 10:13, I am saved. If you prayed that prayer, the angels in heaven are rejoicing, and so are we. Write "I'm saved" in the comments so we can celebrate with you. Get connected with some strong, balanced Bible believers in your area who can help disciple you. Talk to the Lord every day about your decisions and check out our video, The Greatest Superhero.